Hello, English learners! Welcome back to my channel again. How are you today? Are you feeling good? Glad to hear that. When you are in good condition, it means you are ready to learn something new about English. In this video, you are going to learn about a type of text in English. Of course, there are many kinds of text in English, but for now, let's just focus on just one type only, that is, the procedure text. Have you heard about the procedure text before? For those who never heard about it, I'll be really happy to tell you. Listen, procedure text is a kind of text that consists of so many sequences or maybe steps to make something or to do something. Procedure text also has useful purpose, especially for the readers, because this kind of text helps those readers to make something or maybe to operate something correctly through sequences of actions. There are two different kinds of procedure text in this lesson. The first one is the cooking procedure. In this kind of procedure text, you will find some steps to follow in order to cook something. The second one is in the form of manual. Manual is a kind of procedure text that you need to follow in order to operate something correctly. This something can be in the form of gadget, machine, or maybe the cooking utensils. Usually, you can find the manual inside the package of some machines found in your house. For example, the rice cooker, the washing machine, the vacuum cleaner, or maybe the printer. Now, let's discuss the language features of the procedure text. There are two important features you need to remember about the procedure text. The first is the transitional markers, and then the second is the imperative. Let's discuss them one by one. Transitional markers that are usually found in the procedure text use ordinal numbers. Do you know ordinal numbers? The example: first, second, third, and so on. Sometimes, you can also use other transitional markers like then, after that, next, and finally. The next one is imperative. Imperative is as important as transitional markers to be learned in the procedure text. The main characteristic of imperative is the use of the verb one to begin the sentence. It means you don't need to use the subject. Okay then, now let's talk about the generic structure of the procedure text. The first generic structure is the goal. For example, how to cook the fried rice. The second one is the material or ingredients. And the last one is the steps. To make you understand better about the procedure text, I have two videos for you. The first is about the cooking procedure, and then the second is about the manual. You have to watch the videos closely because there will be some discussion about them.
I'm going to show you how to cook a perfect steak. First of all, get your steak out of the fridge 20 minutes, half an hour or so before you want to cook it to give it a chance to come up to room temperature. It'll cook much better that way. Next, you put your steak on a plate, drizzle with a little bit of olive oil. Don't need to use the expensive stuff, just a good cheap olive oil because you're going to be cooking with it. Sprinkle of salt, sprinkle of black pepper. Now, turn the steak over. Now, this way you rub and push that lovely seasoning into the meat and make sure the whole surface is nicely coated. There you are. And I'm just going to lay it in the pan like that. Don't worry about putting extra oil in the pan because there's already enough oil on the surface of the steak. It's not going to stick. Once your steak's in, take a nice pair of tongs and make sure that the steak's in good contact with the pan. Like that. Should be taking on a little bit of colour on the bottom. Yep. Give it a few seconds longer, then we'll turn it. There we go. Do the same thing again. press the steak down with your tongs to make sure it's in good contact with the pan. I'm just going to lift it up now and sear it on the side, on the fat, just to help get that fat a little bit crispy. Then it's much nicer to eat. See that fat coming out? It's melting out of the steak. No. There we go. That's been about 6-7 minutes now. I'll give it one more minute and then I think it'll be time to come out. I know it's cooking. When I press the meat I feel how firm it is and I know that it's well in its way. That's the steak ready now. So I'm going to lift it out and pop it on a plate to rest. Now, as the steak's resting, I'm just going to give a little squeeze of lemon and a drizzle of good olive oil. Give that a couple of minutes and it'll be ready to eat.
I'm Tim Gibson and I'm going to talk about how to use a dishwasher. Now the first thing we want to look at in using a dishwasher is how to load it properly. So most of your dishwashers come with a 2-rack system. You have an upper rack and a lower rack. Now in the upper rack you can see I've got this already preloaded with some things. You'll have some different configurations depending on the type of dishwasher you use. It's always a good idea to consult your user manual and it will have some recommended loading instructions depending on the configuration of your dishwasher. This particular one has some nice hooks in the back here that are great for bowls. So it'll position these bowls and it'll hold them upright so that the water circulates and gets clean. Then on the side here we have places for cups. Then you have this center area. Now the center area you can use it for smaller plates or overflow on your cups, or if you have some taller cups, that's where they'll go down into this center area. We get into the lower rack. This is where we want to load our plates. And everything loads on ends. Now with the exception of pots and pans. Pots and pans, you want them to be, they're surface down, you want them upside down so that the water jets will get up in there. And you can load those off to one side, and then again with taller cups you may load those down here. With the basket, you usually have a utensil basket for your flatware. When you're loading these, it's a good idea with knives, particularly sharp knives such as this, we want to make sure that we load these down into the basket. And that way as you reach in here, you're not as likely to cut yourself. But with the rest of your utensils, you want the utensil portion up, the handle down. And that way you get your water jets onto that. Now the most important thing, you see, this is a good open layout as far as loading your dishwasher. It's very important not to overload your dishwasher because what cleans the dishes is that circulating water. So you want to make sure that you've got a good pattern in there so that your water will circulate and clean. Now, the easiest way, I use these tablets here that have a tablet and it has an agent in here to keep water spots from showing up on your dishes. So you can pop that down into the cup, rotate it, we close it. Now it's a good idea to make sure you get up before you actually close the handle, make sure you get all your settings, heated water heat on, your dryer on, normal wash, and then to set it. And for most cases you can use a light wash unless you got really soiled dishes. And turn the handle on to activate it. And I'm Tim Gibson, and that's how you use a dishwasher.
From the first video, you can make a cooking procedure like this. And from the second video, the manual can be written into something like this. Always remember, when you want to write a procedure text, don't forget to complete it with transitional markers and imperatives. Well then, do you want to practice writing procedure text after this? Go on, try it yourself. Okay then, before we finish our lesson today, I will leave some exercises for you dealing with the previous procedure text videos. Try to get the answers correctly. If you find difficulties, just ask me in the comments section. That's all for now. I hope you can get the idea about the procedure text from today's lesson. I will see you soon in the next video. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to this channel. Thanks for your great attention. Goodbye.